So, last week I had asked you guys on Twitter what you thought the dumbest movie out there was, because I went out to go see this movie called Truth or Dare, and it has one of the dumbest endings, possibly of the year. But then I got delayed a little bit because I had other stuff that was going on. I got a little bit sick. That's why I'm over here with the glasses, dressed up like a grandpa, like Tom Hardy in that Western that he was in. But in the meantime, there was another dumb movie that came out. Two movies that came out that were actually kind of dumb. One was Amy Schumer's new movie. I don't know if it's hers. I don't know if she stole all the material from it, but I went to go see that one. And then on the complete opposite side of the spectrum is Super Troopers, which is probably dumber, but it's a little bit different. So I'm going to read the tweets that you guys sent me if I don't die in between this video. But I'm going to read the ones you guys sent me over on Twitter at the A to Z Show, so go follow me over there. I'll be asking the questions probably every Sunday, and I think next week's, I'm probably going to make it something about the independently funded film Avengers that's coming out. So one of the ones that I got a lot for was Suicide, and I'm not going to argue and say that it's a good movie in any way, shape, or form, because I remember when I went to go see this movie, and one of the biggest issues I had with it was that it felt like there was a kid with an iPod on shuffle throughout the whole movie. This is, when you're breaking down what makes a movie dumb, right? You got your different perspectives of it. What makes the movie so dumb is that it's clearly done from the perspective of the producers trying to just make some money off of it. So the whole thing comes out as a product, right? And on top of that, we're all there because there's a dude in a bat suit. I get that. There's a certain amount of dumbness we go for. But at the same time, Harley Quinn can't be somersaulting off a helicopter like she's in the Olympics and then not even getting a scratch. That's not how it works. M. Night Shyamalan was also getting a little bit of hate, which, again, at least he takes risks. I am not defending the boy because he did make The Happening, and as I brought up before, the story, when I took my family to go see Cloverfield, and then The Happening, go to movies by myself now. The thing with M. Night is that at least he's trying to do something. He's taking a risk and he believes in it, even though he gets a little bit crazy. It's not as lazy as some other people that you guys definitely hated, because the number one that I got the most was Adam Sandler movies. Like, there was Pixels, there was Grown Ups. I have never seen Jack and Jill for obviously a good reason. All I know is that this is clearly one of the dumbest movies that's ever been made. I know that it's Adam Sandler playing both Jack and Jill. I know that for whatever reason, Al Pacino decided to be in this movie. And I think it's the perfect example for what makes Adam Sandler movies so dumb, right? Because I used to enjoy Adam Sandler movies back in the day. I love Billy Madison. I love Waterboy, Lil Nicky, stuff like that. But the thing with him, as I've said before, and many other people have said, my dude goes like on vacations and then he calls that a movie, right? Like, you got those, like we were talking about, where it's the production, the producers, the film studio trying to make something marketable. Here, it's him going on vacations and then having Netflix sign a deal with him and then re-sign a deal with him. And that's all it is. It's just him goofing off. Great for him. I'm not hating on that. But I don't want to sit an hour and a half seeing that. Somebody brought up Somebody brought up Rubber, which is that movie where there's a tire that literally goes around and kills people. And I remember seeing this movie and thinking it was completely dumb, and that was the purpose of it. What I think is even crazier is that I actually met a couple who actually helped fund this movie, and every month they get like $100 in residuals from this film. They said they refused to watch it. Davis brings up the Disaster movie, which, man, I grew up watching films like Scary Movie, right? Scary Movie 1, 2, and 3. I don't care for 4, 5, or anything that came after, with the Haunted Mansion movies. There was that period with parody movies were like the funniest things in the world, because they were taking, very popular horror films and then you would go see it, and then YouTube happened. There was a whole era of these parody films that were trying to copy different genres, and they were literally the dumbest things you can see in theaters. You wouldn't even want to sneak into these things. They were horrendous, and I think one of the biggest issues with that is that by the time that those were coming out, the trend for, making parodies in theaters didn't matter, because YouTube was a place where you didn't even need to leave your house, and people were making much better parodies at home. And for whatever reason, the studios who were trying to make the parody of whatever was current took 6 months to make the movie, then release it, and by then the internet was onto a new thing. Ouija 2014. How the F is the ghost that's supposed to be killing the characters trapped? Here's the problem. Y'all shouldn't be watching Ouija movies. Almost every Nicolas Cage film. So here we got another subgenre, right? Like I said, I'm not a fan of every M. Night movie, but I know that he's at least trying to do something wacky. The same thing with Nicolas Cage. If you've ever actually been to a movie where Nicolas Cage is there for the Q&A, as dumb as that movie is, my man is there because he actually believes in the film and how crazy he's about to get. Like this past Sundance when I went to go see the movie Mandy, and he was there at the midnight premiere for it, and he was talking about how he literally felt that this was the next step in his career. So yeah, some movies are completely dumb. There's even that bit, there's a sketch on YouTube that you can find where it's pretty much the agent telling him, you gotta stop saying yes to roles. He says yes to them because he's crazy. Kung Pao Enter the Fist. Oh, greatest movie I've seen. Okay, look. I remember growing up with these movies as well. Kung Pao, Shaolin Soccer. There was those movies that were... They were so dumb. To this day, because I just saw Kung Pao Enter the Fist not too long ago where he literally punches the hole. I can't describe these. You actually have to watch how dumb these movies are that they're actually enjoyable. Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas doesn't need an explanation. I'll explain it for those of you who don't know. So Kirk Cameron, obviously he makes a bunch of Christian movies and he takes advantage of having like a Christian audience. So he does like a bunch of Fathom events for these type of movies. This one didn't really get that, but if you've seen this movie, it is the complete opposite of cinema. My dude's literally sitting in the car for the entirety of the movie just explaining why Christmas should be a thing. And the beauty of it is that not only is it's literally just a conversation that's happening, not a movie. He even addresses out, yeah, Christmas ain't in the Bible, but like, so what, bro? I saw a couple people were mentioning Compliance, which is one of my favorite movies from that year. I agree, the movie is very, very dumb. Well, not the movie, the characters are very, very dumb. But the thing is that this is actually a true story. It's based off of a true story. If you haven't seen this, it's one of those where I want to recommend it, but I also don't, because it's based off of a true story of this guy who was calling different restaurants, different places, and trying to see how far he can manipulate the people working at that place by pretending to be an authority figure. And the thing gets pretty crazy. Every Bunnyman Massacre movie and any other... I don't know what this is. A clan of cannibals, including a madman in a rabbit suit, terrorize a group of friends in a remote California. Alright, so it's edited on Word. I can't say that's making it on my watch list, but how the heck is there more than one of those? Mutant Girl Squad has a special place in my heart. Another one I don't know anything about. Mutant Girl Squad is a Japanese film by Noboru Iguchi Yoshiro. The film is about Rin, a 16-year-old mutant girl who meets a gang of rebel mutants who aim to take revenge on humans for persecuting their race. So it's practically X-Men, I guess. Well, there goes my monetization for this video. I don't know where you guys are finding these movies out there, but... Bro. Transmorphers. This is a whole nother subgenre of dumb, right? Like, you have those products that are made for money. You have the ones that are clearly the parodies that were just trying to come off of a trend. This is the worst way of coming off of a trend. If you don't know the Asylum films, they pretty much just make the lowest copycat versions. They are pretty much that meme of, hey, can I copy your homework? Yeah, just make sure you're not copy. They never even asked the initial question. And finally, some of you actually mentioned what I believe is the dumbest movie of them all, and that is movie 43. A movie that I have never been close to walking out of a theater, because if I'm going to see a movie, I'm going to see it from the end. I've paid for it, you know, I'm going to give it the whole benefit of the doubt. This was the one moment where I wish I had. I hated this movie completely, and mainly the best way I can describe it to you, unless you go watch it and you see how it's just a bunch of sketches put together that are the most idiotic things in the world, is the fact that it's like the people who made this pretty much blackmailed the actors into being into this. Like, they waited years just to be able to get them into a sketch. You can see how there's like... actors who filmed their sketches way long ago and then just waited so they can, you know, scam somebody else to be in it. And then they had the audacity to make the movie about this producer who's trying to do just that and pitch his film to a company, and then he like holds them hostage. It is the dumbest movie I have ever seen. However, the biggest point I think you can make about movies and whether they're dumb or not is really the approach to it, right? I don't care if a movie is dumb. I care about the motive to why they're making the movie, right? Like I said, a movie like Super Troopers, it's the dumbest thing in the world, but the people who are trying to make that movie are actual friends who are goofing off, and they're doing it because they love doing it. There are other movies that come off as dumb, and you wonder, y'all could have spent a little more time, and I know you had the money to make this a little bit better. It's all subjective, obviously, at the end of the day, but whether a movie is dumb or not, I think the best way to look at it is whether it delivers. And that's the tweet I'll end it on from Derek, who says, conceptually, I don't think a movie can be dumb. What's cool about movies is that if driven by creative people, teams who are passionate, then any movie can have meaning or just be awesome. But also the Dark Tower movie was real bad.